Next, we'll move to orchestration. Juan and Nico worked on a new feature to add a role for our servers to have a GitOps-based, an API-based user that will only have specific APIs, so it won't have all things. Under the hood, it required mapping the APIs and allowing those specific things. Juan will present.
Hey all, let me just share real quick.
Hello, today I'm gonna demo a new type of user that we're gonna be adding to Fleet, which is the API-only user. API-only users allow you to specify a more granular level of access control by specifying which specific API endpoints a user can have access to. The idea behind an API-only user is that if for some reason the user token is leaked, we can limit the attack surface to only a specific number of endpoints. So if I go to the user settings page, we can see that the add user button is now a drop-down, and we have two options. The first one is to create a regular user. If I click that, we can see that the only change we introduce there is that this used to be a model, and it's now a full-fledged page. But besides that, everything else stays the same. If I now try to add an API-only user, we can see that compared to regular users, API-only users have a very limited set of fields that we need to fill in. The only thing you need to specify is some name and which access control rules you want to grant your user. We have two different levels of access control. At the first level, we have role-based access control, which works pretty much as regular users. You can either define a global role, or you can assign you can scope the role to specific fleets. Let me just do a global admin to keep the demo simple. The next level of access control you can have is at the API layer. You can either grant access to all API endpoints, or you can specify which API endpoints the user should have access to. Here, we can search for endpoints either by name or by path. If I do this host, I can do something like this, and maybe something like this. And let's try host. Maybe something like this. With this new user only gonna have access to these three API endpoints. We click back here. We are taken to a confirmation screen where we see the new user name and its API key. Click done here, and then I'm taken back to the users page. Here we can see the new user, which is an API-only user, as per this little UI hint here. And we're not showing the email. And the reason for that is because the email for API-only users is randomly generated. If I take a peek at my database, we can see that this is the email of the API-only user. And it follows a really simple rule. We basically take the domain of the login user, and we take the username of the login user and add it as a prefix, and the rest is some random noise, right? So to test this, I'm gonna try to hit this endpoint, which I should be able to. And I need to add verify no. There we go. This will also work if we do like a floating API reference like this. Okay, that works. If I try to do the host details for this ID here, I actually get like an access error, which we do. Another thing we introduce here is the ability to create API-only users via fleet control. If we take a look here, we can see that now on fleet control, the password and the email fields are optional when you're creating an API-only user. I can do something like this. Oh, this is API only. There we go. I see that the new user was created, and here we are telling the user that the API only user was created with some defaults, and that if they want to tweak that, they need to do so via the Fleet UI. So once I'm ready, I can see the token, right? And here, if I go back to my list of users, I can see that this is the user we created from Fleet Control. And we see that by default, the permissions is set to be a global observer, which access to all API endpoints. Another thing to notice is that since API-only users are a subset of the user type, we get the whole activity enchilada around users, right? So here we can see when the user was created, the access, and if I do some changes to the role, I should be able to see that. Yep, there you go.